100% mag. So of course this is just going to be a quick video. I'm going to be talking of course about the England game against Mexico, which will be later on today in the early hours going into Monday morning. And of course I'm going to be talking about the of course transfer news latest. So let's get into talking of course about the transfer news latest. As you can see up on the screen now, Newcastle United are on the verge, by the looks of it, of bringing in another signing, Johan Manzambi. This lad has been literally the kid of the tournament at the World Cup out in the States. And according to Dutchy Bowen, he is saying that Newcastle have reached an agreement with Freiburg for Johan Manzambi for a package of 44 million plus add-ons. Personal terms have been also agreed, and the paperwork has been finalised between both clubs, with Newcastle viewing Manzambi as Sandro Tonali's replacement, who, of course, Sandy has went on to join, of course, Spurs. Now, looking at this kid, like I say, he has literally been the kid of the tournament in the World Cup. He has been putting in performance after performance after performance, and in his last game in the World Cup he pulled off an absolutely amazing run. Just go check it out online, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. That lad looks absolutely promising, and I cannot wait to see him sign on the dotted line for Newcastle United. Now remember, we've seen this already at this point in the window, where we've agreed terms personally with a player, we've agreed a fee with the club as well, and then the players went elsewhere. Look at Victor Munoz for that prime example. Of course, it looked like it was all signed, sealed, delivered, and he was going to be a Newcastle United player come this season. And then, of course, Liverpool jumped in and got the deal, of course, and we all know what happened there. I did a whole video on it, of course, and talked about my thoughts on that one. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about this deal for Johan Manzambi? Is he the real deal? Do you think he's going to be a really good player? And do you think he'll settle in well at Newcastle United as well? Let us know down in the comments below. Moving on, of course, to another target. And we are looking at, of course, according to German outlet Kicker, we are looking at an Anglo Stella from, of course, none other than Stuttgart. And he is a CDM. He was playing there last season, and I think, you know, we'll have to wait and see on this one. But he made 34 appearances in the Bundesliga for Stuttgart as a CDM last season, and he still is under contract at Stuttgart until 2028. But this is where the good thing is with him. He only has a release clause of £31 million. £31 million for a guy that's 25 years old, a German international. Now, hear us out. That is an absolutely brilliant deal right there. You know, so that may be another one that could be bringing into the club. Now, remember, we've moved on Anthony Gordon already. We've moved on Sandro Tonali already. We've seen, you know, Kieran Trippier leave the club at the end of last season. We've seen Emil Kraft leave the club. So looking at the team, looking at the depth that we need players to come in and replace Anthony Gordon. We need a player to come in and replace Sandro Tonali. You know, there could be more departures yet in that area as well, with Joe Willock being linked with a move away, Jacob Murphy being linked with a move away. Then you look at the right back position. We need depth there. You know, we need to bring in somebody in that right back position, possibly two if we can. And then, of course, looking at the goalkeeping area, there's talk of Nick Pope moving away from Newcastle as well. You know, so there's plenty of talk going on right now for a whole bunch of different areas in the team, and we need to get that, you know, sorted. We need to get that boosted going into the season. And of course, looking at this, there's another player again being linked with this one, of course, from Juve, saying that Juve have made a second offer for PSG's Colo, of course, and it is understood a 40 million euro package, including €5 million loan fee, has been sent, along with an obligation to buy structure proposed in personal terms agreed for the 27-year-old. However, we are monitoring the situation, according to reports from, of course, an account on Twitter called Intel. And then, there's plenty of this stuff going around as well. Newcastle's will there, as you can see, putting the eyes and the Swiss flag. Just loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of different, stuff happening right now. There's even talk of, Eduardo Camavinga, and, we're being aware of going in for that guy as well, who is a really, really good player. He would do some really good stuff for Newcastle United going forward as well. But let's look at now, of course, the side of the preview for Mexico versus England. And looking at that form guide right there, you can see Mexico are in some fine form. They have got, of course, none of that then, the wins against Ecuador, Czech Republic, South Korea, South Africa and Serbia. But in the World Cup, just, winning against South Africa, South Korea, Czech Republic, or Czechia as they're called these days, and then Ecuador. And then you look at ours, we've got a win against Congo. We've got the win against Panama. We should have beat Ghana in the World Cup game as well, but ended up with a draw. We're convincingly beat in the end Croatia 4-2. And then, of course, going into the World Cup, we won 3-0 against Costa Rica as well. Looking at it, of course, the 4 games that we've played against Mexico, we have won all 4 of them. Of course, with the most recent one being on the 24th of May 2010, when we won 3-1 against Mexico. And then you have to go back to 2001, of course, 9 years previous, where England won 4-0 against Mexico. And then back to 1997, where England won 2-0 against Mexico. However, these were all home games. And this time around, we are playing in, of course, the Azteca Stadium, where it doesn't have the best of history for us England fans. And this is a one where, we're looking at it and hopefully we can come away with the win. We're going to be playing it at a pretty crazy altitude. I think it's like 7,000 odd altitude, which is absolutely crazy. Really, really high altitude. So that's going to be a factor for the England players in the game. And then, of course, you've got the heat as well that the England players have got to deal with. And then, of course, there has been reports saying that there could be thunderstorms as well. So there could be delays with the game. Hopefully there's not, because of the time of the kickoff of the game, which is 1 a.m. in the morning. Of course, tonight going into, of course, Monday, morning. And, I mean, just looking at it, hopefully we do well, because, we want to see ourselves get through into the next one, where we have a really good chance of going far in this competition. We're in the, last 16 now. So we've got a really good chance of going far in this competition. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. What's the score predictions down in the comments below as well. And just before I head out here, I'm going to have a quick look at some of the comments put in the comments section. And we've got one here from Edward. Of course, greetings from an NUFC fan in New Hampshire, USA. Hi, mate. Welcome to the channel. Wow, all the way from America. Really, really nice to see people viewing my channel all the way over in the States, and I hope you're enjoying the World Cup over there, mate. I can't imagine what the atmosphere must be like. I remember, Euro 96 when it was here in the UK, and we were, hosting it, and it was a really good atmosphere. So if it's anything like that, then wow, just absolutely brilliant. I am enjoying the World Cup. The times, however, for the kickoffs are a bit of a strange one, but I can deal with it. And thanks, mate, for coming on the channel. And, I hope you stick around. See another comment there as well from Edwin. Best of luck today, mate. Mexico is definitely challenging. Yeah, they're going to be a really good challenge. It's going to be a tough game for sure. But like I say, if we put our head down, we'll get to it. We'll go into it with the right mentality. Then anything's possible. We can come away with the win and see ourselves go through into the next round of this World Cup, and hopefully we could possibly see it coming home this time around. We lost out on the past few tournaments, but this time it feels a little different. Till next time, hit that like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.